Elizabeth, it's been over 12 months now since you became MD of CIE Tours International, one of Ireland's leading inbound tour operators. How has it been for you and how is 2017 looking?
Well, I have to say the last year has been really an amazing experience for me, and I am quite delighted with the experience of getting to work with CIE Tours. The year has really been spent getting to know what the business has, getting to know what we do with our product and what our special ingredients are of what we put out for travel products. So for me, the best part about the last year has been learning what the extent of our product line is and the great reputation that CIE enjoys both in Ireland and in the United States. So CIE Tours has a range of over 40 products. We're the largest provider of selection of products for Ireland and the Scotland, Wales, England area. And nobody in the United States offers as much variety in the region, but also we have great consumer ratings. Our products are continually rated at the highest level. So the quality is there, it's reliable, we've been doing this for a long time, we know how to provide these tours, and the team that we have behind us. I think the best learning from the last year is that the incredible knowledge of the people that work with CIE Tours, this team is amazing, and I think we have the best in the industry, so that shows in the quality of what we do.
And the American market obviously is your key critical market. How's the economy performing over there, and is there still a positive attitude to vacationing in Ireland?
The economy is actually still doing quite well in the United States. So the reputation of Ireland has been built up over the last few years. As we all know, double-digit growth in tourism has been a hallmark of the accomplishment of Tourism Ireland. We also know that comparable to other European destinations, Ireland has been perceived as stable, as a very welcoming environment. So those things have come together at the same time to help drive a lot of interest in Ireland. And I see it that we're not at the end yet. I still think there's a lot of upside. I think that there is a lot of untapped interest and travel to Ireland that's going to be driven by things like further investment in Tourism Ireland, investing in the North America market.
It's so important that, isn't it, the marketing of a destination?
It's so important. The partnership between the tourism entity and those of us that are on the ground selling product and putting out a brand and trying to reach and gain awareness of Ireland, it's incredibly important. You really can't do it without an efficient marketing machine in the country that's helping you.
Absolutely.
So we have found that Ireland is one of the best marketing machines possible. And the investment over the last few years, a little bit concerned because the investment has actually been coming down in money that the country is putting behind it. And I think that what we need to remember is that there's a long-term effect here, that when we invest in marketing of a destination, it actually has a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year cycle where it starts to build. So if we start to pull back on investment, we risk that we may be setting ourselves up for a year or two from now finding that we didn't invest enough. And I think that we want to avoid that.
Absolutely. Marketing, it's an investment rather than a line cost, I always think.
Absolutely.
And are there any blockages to growth? I mean, you talk about there being a very positive perception of Ireland in the States and so on, but the Irish tourism product here on the ground, are there any blockages or problems that you perceive?
The only first line blockage is the hotel inventory in Dublin. That I think is across the industry, we're all aware of it, but that is a really huge problem that needs to be resolved, and we need to put a lot of energy and effort behind that. There is, I believe, a wave of construction and renovation that is going to add some hotel rooms for 2019, but it's not enough. We have a destination that's relatively geographically compact. It has one major entry point, and as much as we are all interested in expanding the entry points, we would love to be able to bring tours in through Shannon and Cork or through Belfast and Northern Ireland, but that takes a lot of time to develop, and that's not something that can be switched over very easily. Everybody who comes from North America to Ireland wants to see Dublin. They would like to have that as part of their tour. So those rooms have got to increase over time. That's probably the biggest blockage.
And is there an appetite or is there a demand from the American visitor to visit places outside of Dublin? So can you tailor programs so that there's not so much of a focus on Dublin to sort of get around the lack of capacity in Dublin?
Absolutely. Well, what you can do, there is absolutely interest in visiting other areas of Ireland. American travelers have started to drift towards wanting to go off the beaten path a little bit more than they probably would have 10 years ago. So it's in perfect step with the development of tourism in Ireland, where places all over the country have actually been investing. So we have demand for that, but it's the entry point and the exit We need to be cognizant that a lot of people will find it easier to get airlift from the United States into Dublin. So while we will absolutely work towards getting other areas of the country like Cork and Shannon and even Northern Ireland, Belfast, but until the airlift is as strong in those areas, it is the rest of the country can be part of the tour and should be part of the tour because those are very interesting and high rated places. But we need to make sure that Dublin does not become a constraint to keep people from getting into the country. So it's very important that we work together to resolve that.
Absolutely. And aside from hotels, what about visitor attractions and visitor experiences? Should we be doing more to sort of up our game in that regard?
I believe that there has been incredible improvement, and we see in our ratings, we do a really thorough job of collecting information from our travelers, and they tell us what they feel about 20 to 30 different aspects of all of the visits that they do during their tour, including the attractions. And we can see that many of the attractions in Ireland are incredibly high rated. They have developed themselves, they're modernized, they have really good operations to provide a great experience that feels very natural and seamless. So we're very happy to have access to these great attractions in Ireland. However, when we do see that attractions are up and coming and they haven't quite figured out how to get as many people in as quickly or how to deal with groups coming in and out, that is something we're willing to work with them and we're willing to give them information to help. So there has been a lot of progress, and we have, clearly Guinness Storehouse is the best rated attraction in Ireland and in Europe. And we have places that have really come up in the last few years. Titanic in Belfast has grown incredibly.
And you're able to monitor how they perform year in, year out, so you're able to see any deviation.
We are. We can see how they've performed in the last few years and track that. And in fact, we actually come back to all of our attractions and we show them the trends over time, whether they're going up or whether they're going down in client ratings. So this is all information that it's computerized, it's data that we can pull and we can share with our attractions. So it's really important. We do the same with hotels and give them the information they need to be able to increase their service level and to improve the experience.
A very valuable service to the industry. You also, of course, CIE Tours in America also, of course, sell and program Scotland. How does Ireland compare to Scotland? Because on a superficial level, there are Celtic cousins, there's a similarity in terms of product. How does Ireland compare in terms of value, in terms of quality of that product?
Well, we can see from the ratings. So our Scottish product has been excellent, and we've been there for many years, and we've been working to improve. But I would say that what we see in the numbers and what we kind of feel as we go around Ireland, as of today, the experience in Ireland is a little bit more honed as far as the quality, particularly when it comes to hotels and service training of the staff in the hotels. Ireland has a slight advantage there, and I think that's particularly due to the strength in tourism into Ireland over the last few years and information, for example, that we provide back to them to show them what the trends of travelers are saying about their properties. So Ireland actually has just a slightly better hotel experience because it's farther along and it's farther developed. We also see that the value for the money is perceived to be a little bit better in Ireland. So that's really good. But what we need to keep in mind is that Scotland is up and coming, and Scotland is definitely eyeing the methods and the mechanisms.
Catch-up phase.
And they're catching up. So we need to make sure that in Ireland, we're not losing sight of how we got the improvements, and we need to continue because the experience is constantly changing. If we don't keep it on an upward swing, it will fall back. So Scotland is also working to get hotels, and whether it's in the cities or whether it's in the off the beaten path areas, to get that quality up. But as of today, I think Ireland still has a slight advantage there and also a value for money.
Great. And the outlook for the US market continues to be strong. I mean, air access is improving all the time. The dollar is still quite strong. We know the Trump presidency kind of throws up a few economic variables that we can't quite judge just yet. But the future should still be positive from the American market. Absolutely.
The future is absolutely very positive. For ourselves, we actually are at 14% year over year on bookings. Excellent. Which is incredible, given that we know the destination has been growing, but we have been watching for signs, because anytime you have an election, regardless of the outcome, you know that there's a possibility that people may slow down coming from North America to whatever destination. So 14% up is great. It's a very good sign. We also see that there's demand for new products and there's demand for new experiences in Ireland that we and other tour operators are really working to develop develop those products, whether they're more customized products, whether they're products that are in places around the country that they wouldn't necessarily see on a top sites tour, because not that they're not excellent sites, but they can only fit so much in their tour. So there is a lot of content and a lot of quality in Ireland that should inspire people to come back a second time or a third time. So we're actually, we work very closely with Tourism Ireland to watch and see what the trends are in return travel and what it is that people are doing, because we want to give people the opportunity not just to pick their first tour in Ireland, but it's really important for the country and for the tour operators that they had such a great experience that they want to come back.
Absolutely.
So that's important. We have to develop tourism in Ireland with that in mind.
Absolutely. Elizabeth, thank you so much. The best of luck with CIE Tours for 2017 and beyond.
Thank you.